Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the college football talk sports show with host Alec Pecado. Today I'm going to be previewing my week 3 over under and my upsets and my covers this week for college football. Let's get right to it. The first upset of the week I have this week is Virginia Tech over Rutgers. I like Virginia Tech's quarterback, Grant Wells. I think he's going to have a big game against this Rutgers defense. And in a little bit, you will see where I have Rutgers in my Big Ten power rankings after week 2. But back to this. I think Virginia Tech pulls the upset. They're 7.5, 7-point dog. So a touchdown underdog against Rutgers. And I think they beat Rutgers. My second upset of the week is, and I'm probably going to get laughed at for this because Miami of Ohio is not that good. But I think Miami of Ohio is going to upset Cincinnati in the battle for the victory bell. Miami of Ohio is a 2.5 touchdown underdog. I'm taking Miami of Ohio to pull the upset and the points, 14.5. And my last, my second to last upset is James Madison plus 3.5 to upset Troy. And this game will be on TV. This game will be televised on NFL Network. And I like James Madison. I think they have a lot of the same intangible qualities as some other teams. And that's why I think they will upset Troy. My fourth and final upset this week is UTEP upsetting Arizona. The point spread is Arizona State is favored by 17.5. As you see on the screen, I am taking UTEP to upset Arizona, and I'm also taking the points. On to segment number 2, and it is my covers of the week. And my number 1 cover this week is Florida State to cover the 26. They're favored by 26 points, and I think they cover that against Boston College. One tad bit about this game, but this is the red bandana game for Boston College. I think Florida State is going to cover the point spread of 26 points and win. My next cover of the week is Texas A&M against Louisiana Monroe. Texas A&M is minus 36.5 point favorites against Louisiana Monroe. And I think A&M is going to cover the 36.5 point spread that they are doing for this game. Now to my over-under picks. Tulane versus Southern Miss. Yes, I understand people. Tulane's coming off a loss to Ole Miss. And I don't I wouldn't want to be Southern Miss. Tulane is going to be real upset about the loss they had last week to Ole Miss. And I think they take it out on Southern Miss in a big way. That's why I am taking the over-under set at 49.5. I'm hitting the over on this game because I feel like it's going to be a high-scoring game with a lot of points. This one is special for a special game for my friend, my co-host, my brother, Robbie Colleton. This one's for you. Tennessee, Florida. I am taking the over of 58.5 points. Tennessee can score. I know they lost their offensive coordinator, but they can still score points. And Joe Milton, this is where he proves that he should be in the running for the Heisman. 58.5, that is not a big point spread, but I think the over is hit in this game. And now to my unders. My first over for the under portion now of this is Kansas and Nevada. I'm taking the under in this game of 58 points because Nevada cannot score. They had 120 yards of total offense last week and lost. I think Kansas gets up to a 28 or 35 point lead in the first half, and then they take all their starters out and they rest them for their next game. And that is why I'm taking the under here. Oh, next game, Pitt, West Virginia. The over-under is set at 47.5 and 47 points, and I'm taking the under. I don't see a lot of offense being played, a lot of points being scored in this game. That is why I'm taking the under. And also, my co-host on Sundays, Robbie Colleton, has a upset pick for this week that I'm going to say now. He has South Florida upsetting Alabama, which, I mean, I could see it happening, but at the same time, I could also see Alabama blowing the doors off of USF. So, we'll see. Anything can happen on any given Saturday. Now, to my Big Ten power rankings after week 2. At number 14, I have Nebraska. I have Nebraska here because they've been disappointing in their first 2 games. Their first game, they should have beaten Minnesota. They should have beaten Minnesota and beaten them bad, but they didn't. And then Colorado, I wasn't expecting them to beat Colorado. So there's that for you. At number 13, I have Northwestern. Northwestern is going to be somewhere around here the whole season for one reason: talent. They don't have that much talent on their roster. And they're not going to win too many more games. In the preseason, I had them winning 2 games and going 2-11 overall and only winning 1 Big Ten conference game. And they only have time to win 1 more game this year. If they go over that, then I'm going to look like an idiot because I said they would only win 2 games. At number 11 in the Big Ten rankings, I have Indiana. I have Indiana here. Oh, correction, this is number 12. Number 12. I have Indiana at 12. They're up they won one game, lost one game. And I just don't. I see them being very inconsistent going forward during the season. They'll win a couple games, lose a couple games, win a couple games, lose a couple games. I see them finishing 500 at the end of the season. Now to number 11, and it is Purdue. Purdue's been very disappointing. They've won one game, lost one game. But I can see them being higher in these rankings either this week or the week after this week. This next week coming up, if they win. At number 10 is Illinois. I've been somewhat impressed with Illinois so far, but then again, it's a 2-game sample size, and I just don't see Indiana. I don't see Illinois winning more than 6 games. At number 9, Michigan State. They have been a big surprise to everybody. And now with the news of Mel Tucker being suspended / fired, I'm not going to get into that whole. That we can talk about. I will talk about with my co-host on Sunday. But I've been very surprised with how they've played so far. Whether it be their quarterback, Noah Kim, leads the Big Ten in passing yards, or their running back, or their starting running back leads the Big Ten in rushing yards. Michigan State has surprised me this year. That's where they're so far after 2 weeks at number 9. At number 8, it's another big surprise in the Big Ten, Rutgers. Rutgers, I don't know how long they're going to be in the top 8 for my rankings for the Big Ten. Depends on how many more games they win. I think they can stay fairly competitive in their games and win some. They may win some games. They may lose some games. Like they play Ohio State in a couple weeks. And we all know they give Ohio State fits, but they lose. They find ways to lose to Ohio State. At number 7 is Wisconsin. I could have had them higher, but they lost to Washington State last week. And I don't see an avenue where they could lose games like that and then turn around and win. They play Ohio State down the road, and that's going to be a big game, but I don't see them winning more than 8 games. At number 6 is Iowa. I know they're going through the gambling scandal, but they have fought through it so far, and they look good. I think Ohio State has to play them this year, and I'm scared. I'm scared that might be one of our losses if we play them during the regular season. And Cade McNamara looks like he fits in perfectly with Iowa. I mean, they gave Rule a lot of money, but if they start 0-3, I think the hot seat talk does heat up a tad bit, but they'd have to lose out in order for the hot seat talk to really turn up a notch. At number 5 is Minnesota. PJ Fleck. In my opinion, you're on the hot seat if you don't win more than 8 games this year. There I said it, Minnesota fans. You can bash me all you want. I think PJ Fleck's a great coach wherever he's been, but I think if you win less than 8 games, he's on the hot seat for potentially getting fired. But I've been somewhat decently impressed with your quarterback, Ethan Kaliakanis. If I said that right, pat on the back. I don't think I did. I think I botched it. But I've been surprised so far with how good y'all have played. Number 4, I've got Penn State in my power rankings after week 2 of the Big Ten. Drew Aller looks like he could be special for Penn State. He looks like he could be the next great quarterback to come out of Penn State. At number 3, I've got Maryland. In Maryland, I like Talia. And I'm going to make a bold hot take right now. I think he's better than his brother. Dolphins fans, you can knock on me in the comments. I don't care. Talia is better than Tua. That is why Talia left Alabama and went to Maryland, because he knew he wasn't going to start at Bama because his brother was there. So he went somewhere where he knew that he could pump up his draft stock, win some games, and do special things. I think Maryland might win the Big Ten this year. If it's not Ohio State, if it's not Penn State, if it's not Michigan. Speaking of the Buckeyes, they are number 2 in my Big Ten rankings after week 2. As most of you know, I just got back from Columbus on Monday. Ohio State, Kyle McCord, I'm going to say this, he looked head and shoulders better than he did in week 1. Granted, it was against Youngstown State. But, and I've said this on my last couple videos, PSA to DBs in the Big Ten and defensive coordinators, don't single cover Marvin Harrison or double cover him. Put a linebacker over the top, because if you double or single cover Marvin Harrison, he's just going to burn past your DB and safety, and it's going to end up being a touchdown. Marvin Harrison is hands down the Robbie, I can see where you would say you disagree. I'm going to explain why. Here's my explanation as to why Michigan's number 1. It's not because of their schedule. It's because they have the more experienced QB. Ohio's McCord, he's a junior, but he's only started 3 games now. J.J. McCarthy started a whole season at Michigan. That is why I have Michigan right now in front of Ohio State. But going forward, if Michigan slips up somehow, or if they end up not taking the rest of their schedule serious, Ohio State will jump in front of them, and Michigan will fall down the pecking order. And just a little PSA, public service announcement. The Alec and Robbie show in September 2024, September 7th, will be most likely going on the road to Tuscaloosa, Alabama for the Alabama South Florida football game. Am I right or wrong about that, Robbie? Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going to make a couple bold predictions for week 3 of college football. My first bold prediction is I think Marvin Harrison has another big game again this week. I think he goes 6 catches, 175 yards, and 2 more touchdowns from Kyle McCord. And I think Travion Henderson rushes for 80 yards and a touchdown. And I think Ohio State's defense holds Western Kentucky QB Austin Reed to under 190 yards passing with a touchdown and an interception. And I think Byron Brown from USF throws for 3 touchdowns and 200 yards passing against Alabama. And I think Tennessee stops the Gators. Yes, we take on Tuscaloosa September 7th, 2024. And Alabama student athletes, if you see us on campus, stop us and we will interview you and put you on the Alec and Robbie show during that weekend. Back to the bold predictions. Like I said, I think Tennessee's going to stomp the brakes out of Florida. And I think Billy Napier's hot seat gets even hotter as Tennessee beats Florida 59-14. And my last bold prediction is I think Arizona State quarterback Jaden Rashada throws for 4 touchdowns this weekend. And Arizona State wins their game. But, ladies and gentlemen, that will do it for today's show. Yes, hot seat topics for college football on Sunday night at 7 p.m. Make sure you tune in. And that will do it for today's show. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I'm out. Peace.